Despite the ACT government ministers claiming that we are a safe jurisdiction with falling crime rates, our criminal justice system, particularly our policing services, is at breaking point, and crimes against the person are up in all categories. This is the same old message from ACT Greens Labour, attributable to their progressive anti-police attitudes. ACT Greens policing spokesman Andrew Braddock takes it further. He warns we need to avoid over-policing, as with that we will only increase crime, as we are finding more crime and persecuting people for that. He states we need to address social issues like housing and social work. It's strange, therefore, that the Greens in government with Labour for the last 12 years, funding the tram was more important to them than these services for the community. It's the same excuse they make to justify incredibly lenient sentencing. We need to address the underlying socio-economic issues and then singly do nothing to address them while serious crime continues to increase. I'm encouraged the Liberals, the Belco Party, the Independents for Canberra have all stated they will increase police funding, resourcing and undertake an independent review of our justice system. Fear not, Andrew Braddock, there is no chance under a Greens Labour government of ever over-policing, only continued under-policing. The number of sworn police officers represented as full-time equivalents in the ACT Police annual reports is now 692 in 2023, down from 702 in 2012-2013. This is a decrease of 0.01%, despite the population increasing by over 90,000 in the same period, and a huge geographic expansion of the ACT. Crimes against the person, that is, homicide, armed robbery, sexual assault and unarmed robbery, have been trending upwards in both number and in their likelihood of a person in the ACT becoming a victim of such a crime over the last 12 years. 4 out of the 8 property offences measured are also increasing, particularly motor vehicle theft, where we come a close second to the Northern Territory, contributing to many dangerous and aggravated driving offences in the Territory. The primary reason for overall crime rates falling is the diversion of many matters that used to result in criminal offences being prosecuted through the courts. This is highlighted in Australian Bureau of Statistics reporting and skews our magistrate court conviction rates. However, the current ACT government insists their policies are working despite a complete lack of evidence. Serious offences are still increasing. We are the only state where policing expenditure per person has remained static over the last 12 years, with a tiny increase of 0.13%, compared to a national average increase of 26.71%. ACT Policing reports the lowest number of police per person in the country, with 1 sworn police officer per $675 persons. The next lowest is New South Wales at 1 sworn police officer per 496 persons, and the national average is 1 sworn police officer per 421 persons. Despite claims that our lenient approach favouring rehabilitation and restorative justice practices is working, we have the highest reoffending rates in the country. The rate of adults receiving a prison sentence or a community corrections order, that is, a criminal conviction within 2 years of prison, is now 63.7%, compared to a national average of 51.7%. This does not reflect the true rate of reoffending, as the rate of previously imprisoned persons in our prison averages about mid-70%, and for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander persons, it is now over 90%. Indigenous incarceration has increased by over 250% in the last 12 years, from 47 persons per 100,000 adults to 112 persons per 100,000 adults. Despite this, the Attorney General Shane Rattenbury claims significant progress is being made in reducing recidivism by 25% by 2025, achieved through selective statistical manipulation. Our prison costs per person are the highest in the country, nearly double the average national costs, and our Independent Commission 3-year reviews advise us that in nearly all matters the prison is going backwards and is completely unsuitable for the needs of the Territory. Our criminal courts have the worst finalisation and conviction rates for most measured offences over the last 12 years, are the most expensive in the country per finalisation through the courts, and our prison is the most expensive per prisoner in Australia. It's hard to see how the ACT government claim that the last 12 years are a success. It is an unmitigated disaster. The ACT government, led by Greens Attorney General Shane Rattenbury and by Chief Minister Andrew Barr, shows apathy towards the safety of Canberrans and underlying factors driving repeated criminality. Despite their claims, their policies are clearly not working. The Greens are arguing over-policing will lead to more crime. This is total nonsense. Under the current system, these offenders are treated like victims by the AST Labour Greens policies, allowing them to reoffend again and again and again. Over 61% of the 400 apprehensions resulted from Operation Toric were on conditional liberty. That was addressing recidivist behaviours on our roads. As Elizabeth Lee MLA stated, every Canberran deserves to feel safe whether they are out in the community or in their own home. I couldn't agree more. I have shared combined reporting with the current Attorney General and asked him to pass it to his Directorate of Justice and Community Safety. I offered to meet with them. Mr Rattenbury responded that he or the Directorate could not discuss it with me at this moment due to an outstanding matter with the ACT Integrity Commission regarding their disaggregated reporting related to dangerous driving, and their response to a question and notice about sexual offences. Maybe they will review it in a couple of years then. The definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and then expecting a different result. This has been the Greens and Labour policies on our criminal justice system. Another 4 years of Greens Labour government will be disastrous for the people of Canberra in terms of their safety, with crime rates for all crimes that matter, those against the person, including murder, rape, assaults and robberies, continuing to rise, and community safety being diminished. It is clearly time for a change.